So we're in Playa La Pinta in Costa Adige. I might have pronounced that wrong. Costa Adige? Probably that. Now, my wife wanted to go to El Hop, and if she's in El Hop, she's happy. So I've come down to the beach, which is your typical tourist beach, and I don't hope to find much, but we always find something. You know, you make the most of what's there. So I went around to the marina on the other side to start with to see if there were any turnstone, cormorants, grey herons, none. Grey lag geese, nope, none at all. Yeah, she's been in there about 45 minutes so far, so she'll be enjoying herself. And this spot on the beach, I don't know what's going on. This bit of the beach is really, really quiet. And that bit over there is really busy. So I wanted to put my DJI mic through the test. I nearly got hit by the water there. Yeah, because it's been really windy today. Right, okay, where should we start? I was gonna do it back to front. Let's do it what I just saw now, and then we'll go backwards. So over there, I just did a little walk around. Went up to this path around the side where it got really windy. Waves are spectacular, whatever. You know, I was looking for anything in the rocks, any small shorebirds, nothing. Then I walked back and I saw the unmistakable shape of a kestrel flying to one of these trees. And as I was walking over to it to get some photos, I saw another one go in and I heard some calling. I saw it, but I didn't catch it in time, but I think there was a food pass. So I filmed what I assume is a juvenile, I assume, unless it's a food pass between male and female or something. I can't make out what it was. Maybe it was a lizard. It looked it looked pretty meaty, but it was up on that leaf, on the palm leaf for a while. And people were stopping, oh, what you see? And I told them it was a kestrel, and they were really surprised because people don't notice these things. I'm obviously there, I'm seeing this stuff. But a kestrel right in the middle of the beach, a food pass, a little bit of David Attenborough going on. I tried to catch it flying, but it disappeared over the top. And then I noticed up the side of this hotel here, there were some trees. So I tried my luck up there, and there were Spanish sparrows flying about. So it was in a position for me to take some photos, and I'd already got some footage of them. So one landed on the top, right in the sunlight, for me to set up the pre-capture. Now the thing with the pre-capture, I might do a whole video on it, is you need to know which direction the bird's gonna go. You need to know there's enough space in the frame that if it flies out of frame, you've at least got one shot. If you're too far out and you're gonna have to zoom in a lot and crop and lose a lot of detail. So it's finding that pinch point where you're in enough to catch the bird and not too far out that you have to zoom in afterwards. But the shots I got, it was turning away and flying backwards. But the initial leap off of the branch I got, it looks pretty good. The head and the eyes are in focus, which is what I want. The wings are slightly blurred, which tells me at 4,000th of a second, I need to go 5,000th of a second. There was a blue tit, African blue tit, moving up this tree. Bit of a crop on that one, but really pretty looking. I'm not sure, you can, if you look at that, you can see there's something different about it compared to ours. What it is, you don't know exactly, but it's an African blue tit. There was a blackbird, I couldn't get a photo of it, collecting nesting material. Yeah, and that pretty much covers it. I saw there was this sign for a bar with a bird of prey with a collared dove on the top of it. Always capture things like that. Apart from that, yeah, nothing else here. A lot of the red rock crabs. Today was predicted to be very stormy to the point they shut all the schools. We've been looking up Tenerife stuff on YouTube, and this guy that does, I think he's a property renter, estate agent for the island, comes from, I think he sounds like he's from Newcastle or something like that. And he obviously does a lot of the news for the island, and he was talking about this storm. 70 kilometers per hour, maybe they use 70 kilometers per hour down here. It makes it sound worse than 40 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour isn't that big a deal. Closing schools, come on. I knew it was just gonna be one of those things where you go out the next day and there's one stall on its side. And it was windy when I woke up, you could hear it, but it wasn't crazy. Everyone was out doing their shopping, walking their dogs. I think everyone's overreacting. But it was, sure enough, it was raining a bit, windy, grey. Didn't want to sit indoors, so we'd use the car as a hide. I said to my wife, okay, we'll take you to Ale Hop. Nearly got me. I've got my flip-flops on anyway. I'll take you to Ale Hop, but first I want to see the golf course, which is just 15 minutes away around the corner. Now, I've said this before, golf course around the world, from the Caribbean to Europe, always good stuff for birds. They love the short grass, hoopoes, plovers, killdeers, wherever you are in the world, it's brilliant. Now, it's very grey, it's very wet. Now, I couldn't open my window to film. Now, normally I would overlay footage of the golf course and me driving around, but it was just raining so much that I couldn't do that. The only thing when it sort of stopped raining for a minute was I got the Atlantic Canary, a decently shot, a keepable one. The other ones from yesterday I'm not going to keep, but this one was close enough that I'll be able to clean it up and sharpen it for you, which you're seeing. Landed on the ground, picked up some grubs. We explored around, there was nothing on the grass. When the rain stopped a little bit, I spotted something on one of the greens, which caught my attention. Initially I thought collared dove. Their collared doves are everywhere. And there's still some debate whether they're African or European. This thing caught my eye though. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but years of birding, you know, your spidey senses start tingling and tell you something's up. It looked more plump. It was feeding the same way a pigeon or a dove would, but something, so I couldn't see it. It was distant enough that I couldn't tell the detail. So I got the camera up from the window. Now I was on a kind of a road that was 2 lanes, one way. And there's something about driving here. I don't want to sort of annoy anyone. There's weird driving here that if I pulled over in England and indicated hazard lights, you would drive around me and just get on with your day. Here, they give you grief. I don't know what's going on. They don't expect you to stop in the road like that. I've stopped and said, go around me, and they go past me and they're giving me all the hand signals, annoyed. Just go around me. I want to swear, but I'm not going to swear. So what I did is I filmed through the mesh just to show that I've seen it. It was the Barbary partridge. I first initially said red-legged partridge, but it was the Barbary partridge because it has to be not red-legged. To see it out in the open, not in the dunes or the rocks like it was at Fuerteventura. So it had to be. I kind of studied some pictures because there's only subtle differences between it and a red-legged partridge. So I was really happy about that, but I wanted some nice sharp photos, but I had to get over the fence. And if I stand out with my camera, they're going to get really annoyed. So what I did is I clocked down the road of cars coming up, waited, got out with my camera and started pretending to look at the wheel, going, oh no, something's broken down with my car. I wonder what it could be. All the while I'm looking down the road for car, and then there's a big enough gap of no cars coming that I quickly fired off 20 odd pictures, saw cars approaching and jumped back in the car. So a little bit of sneakiness there. Anyway, so did that, left the golf course, and I just thought before we get to Costa DJ, find somewhere for lunch. I saw something with natural in the title, some sort of, it looked like a reserve or a monument up on the hills. I said to my wife, we'll just head there. It's 10-15 minutes away. It was nothing. So I'll put the clip up of the screenshot of where it was, and it was just a housing estate. It looked like it was talking about there was some sort of natural nature park or walkway. It's probably for hikers. There's like a reservoir or something on the map, and maybe you have to hike there, but nothing. I didn't see anything. I heard a wagtail of some type and a small bird flitting back and forth, but nothing. And then as soon as that happened, all the grayness, all the cloud went away, and we were left with this beautiful day. And we've just come down. We had our lunch at the, what is it called? I'll put it up. It's the something pig, the bronze pig, the golden pig. Anyway, I'll show you the photo. Brilliant food. We'll come back here. My wife had sausage and mash. I had a half a chicken roast. And we came to there's several ale hop here. And I'm going to go check on her now. I think I've caught up with everything. Nobody's giving me any funny looks. I've got my camera covered with this. This takes the eyes off me. With the camera covered, very, very handy. Okay. Welcome to Las Lajas, I think, or Layas. It's probably Layas. The J will be a double L, Layas, pronounced that way, I presume. Somebody who's Spanish correct me and save me and embarrass myself next time. Typed into Grok where to find the blue chaffinch, which is endemic to Tenerife. And there are several places, but the main place they said was this camping site. Now, it's up high up into the mountains. It took about an hour to drive from the coast, even though it actually isn't that far. It was just all the windy roads coming up. But we struck gold. And I recall this from Madeira. The Madeiran chaffinch, when we went up into the mountains, liked a camping site because there was scraps of food being left around. There are quite a few benches here. Now, we packed up a big lunch, double lunch breakfast. We sat here with this spread, everything olives, cheese, prosciutto, ham, tomatoes, salt, all our water, olive oil crisps, not seed oil crisps, olive oil crisps, and our favorite Galician bread, and just wolf that stuff down. My gosh, I love it. And while I was sat there, I suppose this is the mistake I'm going to be telling you. When I sat at the benches, we sat facing the sun, even though the sun's above us. We should have been facing in. So the car park is over there. I'm just trying to keep the sun flare out. The car park's there. I was facing the sun. I should have been facing back. And it was only by chance that my wife was saying, so what's the deal with, like, these barbecue pits are fantastic. And I was looking back, looking at them. Oh yeah. And then I saw a dark bird fly in. I went, oh. And I sort of peeked by, grabbed the camera, and I went by the blue chaffinch. Isn't that a great moment? The heart racing moment. You get that lifer or that bird you've been chasing, and you're firing away, and you're getting it, and you're getting it, and you're getting more and more. And I was flicking the video and taking pictures, flicking the video, and it is a bit harsh lighting here. You can see there's shadow and sunlight, so I couldn't really set up for a flight shot, because 1 minute it would take off from the shadow into the light, and my camera couldn't focus, etc. So I just got what video I could of it moving around the ground. The camera tried a little bit of trouble focusing a couple of times, so I had to hit the back button focus to refocus it on the eye, because lots of rocks were interfering with it. It's always more helpful if there's a clear background. I'm certainly happy with that. It was hunting around all of the tables, so I'll say when you come here, make sure you go to every single table and look, because I did hear them in the distance. I heard a chaffinch sound very far when I first got here, and I thought, I'm not going to get my hopes up. We see it, we don't see it. We know it's not a guarantee, and I can tell you, but it's not even a guarantee, because we've been here an hour, and I got it for 5 minutes, got loads of time with it. That's 5 minutes. It was loads of time, and then it was gone, and that was it. So if we'd have been here in an hour and I hadn't turned my back and seen it, I might have not seen it at all. So I'd say come up and try and give it 2 or 3 hours. If you're really desperate to get it, especially if you've traveled all this way, spend a bit of time here. A couple of times I was filming, I could hear the great spotted woodpecker in the distance, and I went to look, and I went, no, blue, get those anywhere, blue chaffinch. So the board over there tells you what you can expect to see in the area. It needs replaced. It's a bit burnt out there. Obviously some fires hit it at some point. And there's grey wagtails in there. And I saw some on the way up in one of the little villages. I saw a bird on a wire. Thought it might be a shrike, but it was very thin. And I thought, is it going to let me get out and take a picture? And as I went to get a picture of it, looking up, it was still there. Another one landed to the right, and I could see grubs in the beak, and they both had grubs in the beak. It let me film and take loads of photos. So I think I know that behavior. What they do is they're not actually finished catching bugs. They're going to jam more and more and more into their beak. I think one of them had looked like a little grasshopper-y type cricket, and other maggots and things like that, caterpillars, are really stuffing their beak before they go back to the nest. But they just let me get it from under the car. Amazing. Shame about the whiteout background. What can you do? And then I saw a couple of pipits, which first I thought meadow, but no. Everything here is going to be the Berthelot's pipit. It was on a post, a couple of them in a farm. And then there was I'm sure it was a canary. I'm sure it's not a serin. I'm going to have to listen to the call. I did record a little of the call. Sorry, there's these quad bikes going by and ruining nature. I presume it's the Canary Island chaffinch. I'm not sure in my head what the difference between it and a serin. I'm not sure serins are here, so it's probably just the Canary Island, the Atlantic canary was up above our head. So I'll have to listen to the sound on YouTube and see if it matches up. And that was brief. And I had a little walk around. As I was coming back up, this thing swooped past my face, and I could see the brown kestrel, Atlantic, Canary Island kestrel. Kestrel? Canary Island kestrel. You know, I have considered doing an outtakes at the end of each video. It would be a lot of extra work, but it'd be funny, showing all the mistakes I make, all the little, but I might do it once to see what the reaction is, because it would take a lot of work to edit out each bit and then put it at the end, but it could be hilarious. My only worry is it would make me make more mistakes. To go, oh, that would go in the gag reel, leave it, make more mistakes like that. But this kestrel flew into the tree. I wanted to try and take a pre-capture flight shot because I've got photos of it, but it was in the shade, and outside of the shade, like a foot in front of it, there was light. So I tried, and I got one where it leaned back and flew around the back of the branch. Not much there. Then it sat post in the tree in front of me as if it was hanging around. It wanted to see me, and I took some stills. It allowed me to take some stills. And I took a little bit of video. I rested myself on the tripod. A little bit of video, close up, the best yet of it. And I just left it there because I couldn't take any capture shots, pre-capture, unless it was on a branch, and then I could get it taken off. But it, you know, out in the sunlight, it wouldn't come out. It's about 10 degrees cooler out here than lower down. So bear that in mind. I've got my top. I'm now quite hot. My wife's gone back to the car. She's cold actually up here. But I've been walking around. I'm carrying all this equipment, so I'm going to warm up. You want to bring some coals and some meat up here. You know, take your chance. I don't know what the deal is. You have to clean it first. But there's a toilet block over there, very clean. So certainly cleaner than I expected out here. No toilet lids and no toilet tissue, but all the flush works and everything. So remember, go to the toilet block, bring some tissue, and you're right as rain. And there's plenty of recycling and rubbish bins, lots of places to run around. These taps, they're quite well disguised. A walker did say to me, do you know where the taps are? And the drinking taps. And I don't know, I knew where the water block was, the toilet block. And as I was walking around, I saw them by the barbecue pits. They're built into they're actually built a rock, stone little tower with the tap at the top. So if you come here, that's where they are. Would I consider? I don't think I'd drink them. You know, I just stick with bottled water. I don't want an upset stomach out here. I just, you know, it's not worth the risk, unless you want to dig a hole and, you know, have an accident in the hole afterwards. I'm going to go back a little bit, just quickly from yesterday. We did go to Los Gigantes for the evening, because it does say that you can see shearwaters and petrels from there. I didn't see anything. The waves are really big, beautiful waves. Look at these waves. And hoping to see some seabirds out, but it was all yellow-legged gulls. And we walked around a little bit to see if there are any smaller birds. Nothing. So we just stopped down and had drinks and looked at the Los Gigantes mountains and enjoyed a drink, and some music coming out of this really cool little restaurant. And we didn't eat anything because we just had a big meal at the Ginger Pig. That was the name of the restaurant I couldn't remember yesterday. Everything here I think I've caught up on. But yeah, if you come here, I haven't seen the blue chaffinch since. So you come here and really look at every table, because it came in silently. I wouldn't have seen it if I didn't turn around by accident. So it came from the direction, if you drive into the car park from the road, it came from the right-hand side. So keep your eyes open for that area, especially when you're driving. Drive with the windows open if you can, and listen for bird sounds. There are other things flitting around. I've looked on the board, there's nothing extremely different up here. There's sparrowhawks, kestrels, loads of kestrels here. Plenty, you'll get your fill. But nothing unusual in terms of birds. The Sardinian warbler, maybe spectacled warbler, is going to be as unusual as you're going to get.